I mean, I lost my dad 40 years ago, and she's been without him 40 years. But you lost yours pretty close together, huh?
Yeah, my mom and my dad went in the same year
Wow.
back to
Oh,
back. And I spent lots of time with both of them right up until the end, was with them both at the end. So I'm not going to say I know what you're going through because everybody's experience is unique to them and to their family. But I do know how hard it can be. And I know how much I think I can say every day, I still wish that they were here to kind of experience what has come to me and, grandchildren, which would have been their great grandchildren, and all this stupid TV stuff that I get to do now because I know how proud and excited they would have been. And I got to watch you and your mom through your Instagram posts. And, you can tell a lot about a parent by the child that they raised. So I know your mom was a remarkable, remarkable woman.
yeah, she sure was. Glenn, thank you. And you're such a bright light in my life. And we've had these conversations. I hear you exactly. I wish I could talk to my dad so many times about what's happened to his and Barry Goldwater's Republican Party. I wish I could talk to him about being a Nuremberg prosecutor and having a party that has Nazi flags flying at some of their rallies. And as we've discussed, I think it's why I have daddy issues with you because you're such a fierce prosecutor. Um, but it is really true that there's all those things you wish you could talk about. And I tried to say everything to my mom that I could, every single time I talked to her. But it is those little things like, every time she had Alzheimer's, Glenn, she was 100. And every time she answered the phone, she'd say, Stefanini. It was her way of letting me know that she knew who I was, even though she forgot sometimes. I spent all day with her every day when I was there because I lived so far away, and she would forget I was there. And, there's things that broke your heart, but there were ways that she went through all that to be able to tell me that she knew who I was. And I was saying we stopped talking politics a long time ago, obviously. And I just said, love is all that matters, right, at the end of the day. And I hope that, when we get justice, Glenn, that's how we start to heal this nation is one person you love at a time, right?
Yeah. And Steph, maybe on the upside, your mom can now meet my mom and they can both look down and watch the relationship that we have, for which I'm grateful, just being a regular with you and the crew every Friday and joining you
Yeah.
on your tour for your shows. So maybe our moms can look down and my dad can look up and see, you know, and see how I'm
Glenn
doing.
Louise.
So,
That sounds like a whole nother story. Okay. Yeah, I know. You were one of my only comforts this week. My sister and I had MSNBC on as we do this week. We're like, sorry, Mom. No Fox News. I can only take so much this week. But just thank you for your kind heart and your warrior spirit. And we'll talk to you again, hopefully Friday. And
all
there'll
right, Steph, my wife and I send all of our love to you and your family.
Aw, thank you, honey. Always a buzzkill when you mention your wife, but I love her too. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I know, Mom. I'm kidding. Love you.
We're going to have a power outage right now because of that, Stephanie. She's going to strike you.
Bye, Glenn. Love you.
Bye, I love you.
Okay.
Bye.
um, which one should we do? Let's see here. Oh, 15. So this is my mom on I've Got a Secret, or no, excuse me, Pure Oxygen on the Oxygen Network. One of my many, many canceled television shows, Jody.
Conway was canceled a lot, too.
Oh, I believe this is the time on national television when she said I was ugly as a child.
Oh, that's nice.
And I've had a lot of work done.
So I'm starting my new job here at Oxygen. We're doing a practice show today, and as if I wasn't tense enough, I thought I'd bring my mom along.
I need my mommy.
This is my mom, everyone. Little Steffi Sr. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Steffi. I hardly know you with all your makeup on.
The critique begins.
We now know that she's the baby of the house. What was her little nickname around the house?
Well, would you believe it or not, we referred to her as our little Baba.
Because she's very much like a little lamb.
Oh, my Lord, if you saw pictures of baby pictures or when she was a youngster, you wouldn't recognize her.
She looked like a little boy.
She was a little ugly thing.
And then
Okay.
the montage of photos.
I think we missed the stage whisper of, she's had a lot of work done. Oh, Mom. You are so precious. Okay. This was one of her favorites on the piano. Speaking of my dad saying, just so we need another Polak on the piano, one of her favorites was Mona Lisa, accompanied by my Schnauzer. Okay.
My mom used to sing Mona Lisa and play the piano, and our Schnauzer Katie would sing. I'll play the role of the Schnauzer. Okay, ready, Mom? Here we go. Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, how I love you.
I know you don't like my Conor. I know you don't like my Conor McGregor, but that was a really good Katie, my mini Schnauzer.
That was a solid one.
You were a wolf child, after all.
But it's also another one of your impressions that's no longer with us.
Abandoned by wolves, raised by Republicans. So it was kind of in my genes, my original genes, exactly. I'm sorry. I know there's so many people trying to get in. Tammy in Rockford, Illinois. Hey, Tammy, welcome.
Hey, Stephanie. I am not really a long-time listener, but you've gotten me through the dark orange cloud for the last several years, and I greatly appreciated that.
Thank you.
I can't say that I know what you're going through, but I definitely can relate to the slumber party from hell, and thank you for bringing this to all of us, because it's really helpful to me even 9 years later. And it's so great that you've got humor to get you through this, too. My mom was a firm believer in humor, and in fact, to the point where we had a big dish of foam clown noses that everyone wore on their lapel at the funeral. So we kind of got a little nuts with it. But I had to call. I've never called in on something like this, but You've helped me through so much through the last several years that I had to call. And Jody, I watched your mom's special this weekend, and I cried then too when she sang the end of the song, because that was my childhood. And so
that song is going to kill us all.
Blame my dad.
It is, right?
All right, Tammy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to say I read everything, and I feel it and appreciate it. I feel all your love, and this I'm trying to get to some, because I know some people are shy to call. Leslie said, "Dear Steph, like all your many fans, I've been thinking about you all week, holding you in my heart. It's such a hard thing to go through, and I found when I did with my mom that I wouldn't have missed it for anything. It was the best and hardest thing I've ever done." Yeah, it is an honor and a privilege. It really is. We sort of had to reverse. Thought we might have a month of hospice, but ended up with only a week, the longest week ever. I didn't bring enough clothes. Me neither. It was so grueling, but there were moments of love and joy and just plain humor. It sounds like you were also lucky enough to have. The last time my mother told me how much she loved me, she might have thought I was her aunt. She spoke to me in Greek, her first language, which she barely used for years, but I knew what she meant, and I knew enough Greek to tell that she was saying she loved me. It was a precious memory. I don't know if you had to deal with this, but my mom had the death breath for at least 4 straight days. Oh, yes. 3 breaths and a pause where we'd all lean forward thinking this is it for 4 days. I don't think I slept much either. Even the hospice workers were saying this is kind of unusual. Yeah, my mom, once again, Jody, as you know, just defied every medical and science expectation and all bounds of reason and logic. And it just, there is an odd mix of relief that their suffering is over and just never wanting to let her go, So it's but there is dark humor. My sister and I had to talk about, because we're going to that's why we're doing this show. We're not doing a funeral because it's just me and my 2 sisters. So I'm doing this, and then we're going to have a ceremony at Arlington when we inter her with my dad. And so we were talking about an urn. My sister's going to use something that she and her husband got overseas, but she was like, well, we don't know if it's the right size because we don't know how many the ashes Mom is, and it just. I was telling about this cartoon about there's an urn on a mantle and there's a bunch of ashes spilling out. It said even in death, Bethany was not able to reach her goal weight. And
I love that's me.
That's you and me. That's you. You'll be happy to know I've lost a lot of grief weight. But, just the dark stuff you have to talk about and think about, It's just when I was saying goodbye to her, I was rubbing her between her eyes like I always did. And, she used to put masking tape there across her frown line because she thought that would work. and her skin was so smooth at the end, not a wrinkle in it. And I was rubbing her after she'd gone, and I said, "Oh, Mommy, all that masking tape and all these massages, we finally got rid of that frown line." But she was, as my dad always said, the prettiest girl in Lockport, where we're from. Just beautiful right to the end. One last one. Jen said, "Dear Steph and kids, because I'm too chicken to call. Dear Steph, I want you to know I'm so proud of you. I'm so grateful for your hope, inspiration, that you're still so clappy in this experience after listening all week. I have no words for the impact your stories have helped heal a part of my soul that I buried for the last decade. That last week was so difficult. I had deep six most of it. I don't know how to say it, but Steph, because of your strength and vulnerability, you lifted me up in ways I didn't know I needed. The stories of your mom's struggle has helped burn in images in my head that have become normal. My mom and I went through everything you shared to the tiniest detail. Mom passed just 3 weeks after falling ill. I wanted you to know you've helped me process and heal some of the biggest black holes in my heart, and I can't ever repay this gratitude." I just want to say that I feel the same way about all of you guys in this room and all of our listeners that have written me. You've held me up, with your stories and your everything, tweets and Instagram and Facebook and emails, and I just I'm so grateful. I'm super grateful. Okay, I think when I can't really speak is a good time to break.
It's a good time.
19 minutes after the hour on the Stephanie Miller Senior Tribute.